Nestled on the edge of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen, Oman often remains under the radar for many travelers exploring the Middle East. Jesse and I were no exception to this, with little knowledge about the country prior to our visit. However, on a whim, we booked a 5-day tour through Oman, and we were utterly amazed by what we discovered. Today, we'll be taking you on a journey to a lesser-known country of the world. We'll share the exact route we took, the places we visited, the cost of our private tour, and our experiences that made this trip unforgettable. Welcome to the Sultanate of Oman, a land of hidden wonders waiting to be explored. After arriving at Muscat International Airport in the afternoon, we were met by representatives from the tour we booked through AFAQ Travel. Before arriving, I had arranged a 5-day tour with them, and we only had to put down a 10% deposit before arriving. The total cost for this tour was $1,860 for 2 people, and this included a private driver for the entirety of our trip, as well as accommodations and some meals. This comes out to $930 per person for 5 days, which we thought was pretty affordable. Our driver's name was Munir, and we really enjoyed getting to know him from our short time together. He was super friendly and taught us a lot about Omani culture and history, and we ended up really enjoying our chats between destinations. Upon arriving, we noticed that Oman is a really clean country and operates at a much slower pace than the rest of the world. This was refreshing not to be caught up in the crazy traffic and endless supply of people trying to sell you something at every hour of the day like we experienced in Egypt and Morocco. Our first stop was the Mutra Souk, which is essentially a local market. We had about an hour to walk around and look at different vendors, and we noticed that there was a ton of gold, and the prices honestly weren't too bad. While the vendors always invited us in to take a look at their store, they weren't pushy at all and were very respectful. Right outside this market, we noticed a big yacht, and Munir informed us that this was one of the Sultan's older yachts. Not too shabby. This led perfectly into our next stop, which was the Al Alam Palace, one of 6 residences of the Sultan. We were allowed to walk around and take photos, and Munir informed us of the fascinating history behind this place and all the famous people who had been welcomed here. There were virtually no crowds and almost no tourists at all, which was kind of nice. About a minute drive away, we continued the tour with a visit to the National Museum. Jesse and I love museums, and we were given about 90 minutes to explore on our own. One thing you'll notice while in Oman is a beautiful aroma in almost every building you go in, and this is the frankincense that Omanis constantly burn. And even in the National Museum, we were met with this amazing smell. We found that 90 minutes was about the perfect time to visit the museum, and Munir told us that we could take longer if we needed, but we found that we didn't need to. It was fascinating to learn all about the rich history and culture of Oman, and this was definitely a great way to start the trip before exploring the rest of the country. After the museum, it was around dinner time, and we were dropped off at our hotel in Muscat, the Wyndham Garden. It was a newer hotel, and we thought it was quite nice. The next day, Munir arrived right on time in the morning to get our day started. Our first stop was the Grand Mosque. Named after Sultan Qaboos bin Said Al Said, the man behind Oman's modern renaissance, this mosque took shape in 2001 and quickly became a must-see for anyone visiting Oman and is one of the larger mosques in the Muslim world. What makes the Grand Mosque stand out isn't just its size or stunning interiors, it's the blend of Islamic architectural styles from different eras and regions all coming together in harmony. The cool thing about this mosque is that it's not just for worshippers. This is the only mosque in Oman that welcomes non-Muslim visitors outside of prayer times, offering a peek into Oman's rich Islamic culture. There's even a library packed with Islamic literature from ancient manuscripts to modern texts, making it a treasure trove for those keen to learn more about Islam, and they even give out free books in English for those who want to dive deeper into the religion. After the mosque, we started the 2.5-hour journey to the Wadi Bani Khalid Oasis. But first, we made a quick stop at the small town of Ibra, and were able to walk around the old forts where wars were fought with the Portuguese. There were literally no other tourists here at all, and we loved having the whole place to ourselves. Again, Munir was full of historical information with lots of interesting facts and insights, and we were really liking having him as our tour guide. After the quick stop in Ibra, we continued our journey and arrived at one of our favorite spots of the entire trip, the Wadi Bani Khalid Oasis. We had a short 15-minute walk in, and immediately you felt like you arrived in another country as you started to see the greenery and water transform the landscape. You'll find yourself wanting to stop and take lots of pictures of the clear, emerald green water pools and streams that run year-round. Over the millennia, these waters have created a series of deep, shaded pools that are a delight for swimmers and nature lovers. We were given about 2 hours to explore here, and we enjoyed every minute of it. Again, while there were other tourists here, it wasn't crowded at all.
All right. right, now it's Jared's turn to jump from the bridge. Go! How was that?
Nice.
Nice?
Wanna do it?
No,
Huh?
I'm not gonna do it.
I don't know if I'd call that a waterfall, babe.
Why?
This little stream.
After a refreshing swim and fun in the sun, we continued our journey for the day with a quick stop for lunch with an authentic Omani meal. We were served an amazing meal called shua, which is a one-day slow-cooked lamb that falls right off the bone. And alongside it, some really delicious grilled chicken and super flavorful Yemeni rice. Honestly, we loved all the food in Oman, and you won't be disappointed in your meal choices here. After lunch, we finally arrived at the desert and do a quick stop to a local Bedouin tribe where they handmake gifts and souvenirs. As customary to Omani culture, they will serve you delicious tea to welcome you to their home. It's important to note here that you don't have to spend money on anything, and we never felt pressured to make a purchase. However, I ended up getting this nice masar as a souvenir to bring back home. The Bedouin people are super nice and extremely friendly, and it was nice to get a glimpse into their daily lives. Not too far from the Bedouin site, we have a 30-minute drive through the desert and finally make it to the Oryx Desert Camp where we'll be staying the night. The camp was really beautiful, and we were given a huge room that could easily sleep 6 people. We had a nice porch with a view of the dunes that would make for amazing stargazing later in the night. After a quick drop of the bags, our tour continued with a short drive to the top of the dunes and some fun in the sand. Munir was an excellent driver and definitely made the experience a blast. It was both Jesse and I's first time off-roading in the sand, and we really enjoyed the experience. After a little bit of adrenaline-filled fun, we parked the car at the top of the dunes and took in one of the most beautiful sunsets of the trip. There's something magical about sunsets in the desert, and we got super lucky as apparently the day before was completely covered in clouds. After an amazing sunset, it was time for dinner, and the dinner did not disappoint. We had an authentic Omani barbecue with a variety of roasted meats. Dinner was served buffet style, and they had some nice live music playing in the background for a great dinner experience. Again, the food here in Oman is super tasty, and their portion sizes won't ever leave you feeling hungry. The next day, we set out to our next destination, which is a Wadi Shab Oasis. Upon arrival, we took a fun little boat ride across the river to get to the other side, and we were amazed at the beauty of the surrounding area. In order to get to the swimming hole, you'll have to walk about 45 minutes in, but we found it to be a super easy walk with lots of room on the paths. Plus, you'll get to take in the beautiful scenery and stop to take some amazing photos of the deep blue waters that flow through this canyon. Once we got to the swimming hole, we had about an hour to enjoy it. The place was definitely the most crowded out of all the stops we made. However, we found it was still super fun and enjoyable. After some fun at the swimming hole, we made a quick stop to the famous Bimmah Sinkhole. And while we could have swam there if we wanted, we decided not to as we had already changed and dried off. But the sinkhole is super beautiful and was a nice quick stop before we headed back to Muscat for the night. The next day, we started the morning by visiting the Hamra village, one of the biggest markets in Oman where locals sell their goods and produce as well as auction off their livestock. Because Jesse and I were traveling light, we couldn't make too many purchases, although if we could have, we would have. Even with the limited bag space, we did end up getting a decent amount of frankincense, as we fell in love with the smell and we now burn it in our house on a weekly basis. After the village, we make a stop at one of the most famous forts in all of Oman, the Nizwa fort. Built in the 17th century, this is one of the oldest and most impressive forts in the country. Situated in the heart of Nizwa, this historic city once served as the capital and center for trade, religion, education, and art, and the fort's massive circular tower dominates the surrounding landscape. It was designed with defense in mind, featuring numerous traps, false doors, and secret shafts to stop potential invaders. The main tower offers panoramic views of the surrounding date palm plantations in the distant Hajar Mountains, providing a strategic vantage point for surveillance. Inside, the fort contains exhibits of Omani crafts and history, offering visitors a deeper understanding of the region's culture and the fort's role in it. Its blend of history, architecture, and culture makes it a must-visit destination for anyone looking to delve into the heart of Oman's storied past. We really enjoyed the history of the Nizwa fort, and we continued on with the day with our next stop, which was a date palm plantation. Munir even helped us climb to the top of one of the local aqueducts that runs through the plantation, providing water to the entire town. It was fascinating to see the same system of aqueducts that have been used for hundreds of years still in use today. We then made the windy trip up to the top of the Green Mountain, which was one of the highest points in all of Oman. This mountain is famous for a variety of reasons, one of which being that the King of Qatar has a palace he built as a summer getaway he comes to once a year. Aside from this is also the place where Princess Diana went on a camping excursion, and they even named one of the areas Diana Point. But aside from the celebrity status of this place, the breathtaking views are what makes this mountain so memorable. We found it fascinating that even up in these high mountains, the locals have figured out a way to farm and are still using some of the same agricultural methods they did hundreds of years ago, carving out a tiered system of platforms to plant their crops. We really enjoyed exploring this area, and it was fun to walk through the town and see how the locals live. After the Green Mountain, it was back to Muscat for the night before catching an early flight out of the country. Reflecting on our 5-day journey through Oman with AFAQ Travel, Jesse and I can't help but feel overwhelmed with gratitude. This trip surpassed our every expectation, offering us a deep dive into a country rich with hidden gems, cultural heritage, and breathtaking natural beauty. From the moment we met our driver Munir at Muscat International Airport, we knew we were in good hands. Munir wasn't just a driver, he was our gateway to understanding Oman's heart and soul. His friendliness, deep knowledge of Omani culture and history, and genuine enthusiasm for sharing his country with us enriched our experience immeasurably. Financially, the tour was remarkably affordable. At $1,860 for 2 people for 5 days, we received an experience that felt far more luxurious and exclusive than the price tag suggested. This not only included Munir as a private guide and driver, but also comfortable accommodations, some meals, and a seamless itinerary that gave us a little taste of everything Oman has to offer. Considering everything we received, we found the cost to be more than reasonable. Oman itself was a revelation. It's a country that operates at a refreshingly calm pace. The country's cleanliness, the respectfulness of its people, and the absence of pushy vendors only added to the pleasure of our visit. For anyone looking to explore Oman, we cannot recommend AFAQ Travel enough. They offer an affordable, enriching, and enjoyable way to discover a country that deserves far more attention than it receives. If Oman is under your radar, let this be a sign you need to explore this magnificent country. And when you do, make sure to ask for Munir. We hope you enjoyed this condensed tour with us through Oman, and if you did, let us know with a like and comment below. We'll see you in the next video.